So today we're going to be talking about ethanol, corn as a biofuel. In the beginnings of ethanol, we start in 1826 when inventor Samuel Morey developed an engine that used ethanol. Then 70 years later, Ford's quadricycle, the first automobile, was made to run on ethanol. Then later, and during World War I in 1917, it drove up the need for ethanol to 50 to 60 million gallons per year. A few years later, Standard Oil added ethanol to gasoline to increase octane, which is the measurement of a fuel's resistance to premature combustion. Then later, in 1941, during World War II, ethanol need increased again due to wartime uses. But what exactly is ethanol? It is created through fermenting crushed corn that is then soaked in water, and that water is heated up. But the chemical structure is known as CH3CH2OH, as seen on the left. Now, a deeper dive into the creation process of ethanol. First, we start with corn from a farm that is given to a plant to be ground up into a flour. Then, with that flour, we add water and then heat up the water. Then again, we add enzymes, which break down the starch in the corn into sugars. Then we add yeast to react to the sugar, making CO2 and ethanol. Then we distill it with evaporation to remove the ethanol from the CO2. Now, the process of fermentation. It is an anaerobic environment, which means no oxygen is involved at all. That is fermentation. Specifically, alcoholic fermentation, because it mainly occurs in yeast, which is what we had added earlier. That process releases CO2, and then we get the ethanol out of the CO2 by separating it. Now, what do we use ethanol for? There are many daily uses, such as engine fuel, which is putting gas in our cars like we do all the time. There is medicinal use with isopropyl alcohol, which disinfects our wounds, and then a somewhat safe consumption with drinking alcohol. Now, here are some fun facts about ethanol. First, we have ethanol is blended into 97% of the United States gasoline today. And with 1 bushel of corn alone, a plant produces 2.8 gallons of ethanol and 17 pounds of valuable distiller's grain. And with ethanol, it lowers our gas prices by 50 cents to $1.50 per gallon. And the state of Iowa has the highest production rate of ethanol out of all 50 states. And below are some companies that produce ethanol. Thank you all for watching.